we are going to study branch instructions. Okay, now what is a branch instruction? Okay. A microcontroller sequentially executes instructions, but in some cases, transferring this control to another block of code becomes essential. Okay, the branching instructions in the 8051 are responsible for performing this operation. Tasks like looping, calling delays, and conditional execution of code can be performed using these branching instructions. Okay, so for that, I will give you the example of the I will give you the example of, or actually, I will show you how the instruction execution takes place in case of the microcontroller. Okay, so for that, I am sharing with you the whiteboard. Tell me whether it is visible or not. Uh, Here, as you know, in case of the microcontroller, it is having a program counter register present there. Okay, so it is having one program counter, instruction register and instruction decoder is present there. Okay, so total three registers are present. One is program counter, second is instruction register, and the third is instruction decoder. Okay, so I will show all these things to you. Mm, So the first one you are having is program counter. Just then the second thing you are having is instruction decoder. First is a program counter, instruction, second is the instruction decoder. Okay. Okay, so you are having a program counter, instruction decoder, and just a minute. I will try to reduce it so that it will be visible to you. Okay, so this is the program counter and this is the instruction decoder. Okay, so you are having one program counter, one instruction decoder, and one instruction register is present there. Okay. And another thing present there is a ROM memory is present there. Okay. in the ROM memory, your program is stored. Okay. In the ROM memory, you are having your program stored there. In that program, actually, just a minute. So this is the ROM present there. Is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I will try to show you this thing. Okay. Okay, so here I have shown three things. One is the program counter, second is the instruction register, third is the ROM memory. The blue colored box is the ROM memory. The program counter will hold the address. Okay, for example, the address may be 0x 20 or 0x30. Okay, this is the address of the memory location you are having, and your that address is present in the ROM memory. The address of that location is present in the program counter. Program counter will tell from where to fetch the instruction. That instruction will go into the instruction register. Okay, so it will locate the location here, then it will go to the instruction register. From the instruction register, it will go to the instruction decoder. Okay, and instruction decoder will actually decode the instruction, and according to that, ALU will perform the operation. This way, the program executes. I repeat it. The program counter contains the address. The address will locate the location in the ROM memory. From the ROM memory, the instruction will go into the instruction register. Instruction register will give that instruction to the instruction decoder, and it will execute the instruction. In this way, the instructions are executed there. Okay. So now this is the normal way of execution. Whenever the first instruction is executed, program counter will increment by 1, and then the ROM it will execute the second instruction. Then it will execute the third instruction, and so on. So like that, the program will be executed in the microcontroller. Okay, so this is the normal practice there where the program is executed. Fine. So now what happens? Your program will be stored from the location 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, like that. Okay, these are the sequential locations you are having there. But sometimes it is required to change the flow of the program. For example, repetition, that is looping instructions are executed. So again and again you have to jump to the another location. Means you have to change the location in your program, or you have to change the program flow. For that, you need to change the contents of the program counter. You need to change the contents of the program counter. And for that, you are using the branch operation. Okay, you are using the branching instruction. So what the branching instruction does, the branching instruction actually change the contents of the program counter. Okay, so I will come back to the again the program. Now I will show you once again. Okay, so normally what happens, microcontroller is executing the microcontroller is executing the instructions sequentially. Okay, it is executing the instructions sequentially. But in some cases, transferring this control to another block of code becomes essential. The branching instructions in the 8051 microcontroller are responsible for performing this operation. Okay, what are the tasks performed by these branching instructions? The tasks like looping, calling delays, and conditional execution of code can be performed using these branching instructions. Okay, I repeat it. Tasks like looping, calling delays, and conditional execution of the code can be performed using these branching instructions. So these branching instructions are actually changing the program counter there. Okay, so for that branching instructions are used. Okay, now I will give you the list of the different branching instructions available in 8051 microcontroller. Okay, so the very first instruction which is used for branching operation in 8051 is jump. Okay, so we on the left hand side we can see that there is a jump instruction written there. Okay, and in the second column, in the first column the type of the instruction given there, in the second column we are having various variations of jump instruction. Okay, first instruction is a jump, AJMP, second is LJMP, third is SJMP, fourth is only jump, fifth is JZ, jump if 0, then JNZ, jump if not 0. Okay, then we are having CJNE, compare and jump if not equal. Then DJNZ. Okay, so what you have to remember, this is the first one, A jump. Okay, A jump, that is absolute jump. Second is L jump, long jump. Third is S jump. Okay, fourth is JMP. Fifth is JZ. Sixth is JNZ. Seventh is CJNE, compare and jump if not equal. And eighth is DJNZ. I'm just giving you the list of the instructions. Remember, I don't expect that you should immediately remember all these instructions. Okay, so don't worry about it. You just remember the syntaxes. AJMP. Okay, this is the mnemonic used there. AJMP. And forget about the other things written there. You can relate this afterwards. AJMP is nothing but absolute jump. LJMP, long jump. SJMP, short jump. So, you know, it's as it's, wow, what do you mean by long? What do you mean by short? We'll see it afterwards. Then one instruction is only jump. Next instruction is jump if 0. If 0 is present, then only you have to jump. Then JNZ, jump if not 0. Okay, now what do you mean by jump? Jump means change the contents of the program counter. Okay, I repeat it. If you want, you can take down. When I am saying jump in the microcontroller, it means actually it will change the contents of the program counter. Okay, I repeat it. If I am saying that take the jump in the program, it means it is changing the contents of the program counter. So normally, suppose if the program is starting from the location 30, so it will go on incrementing like 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, then up to 39, then 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, like that. But after that, suppose at somewhere at say for example 3F, okay, instead of going for 40, if I change the program counter contents again at 35, then once again it will start at 35. Okay, so like that you are going to change the program flow control, that is called as jump instruction. So for that you are using the jump instruction. Okay, for branching operations in 8051, we are using the jump instruction. Now these are different variations of the jump instruction are given there. A jump, absolute jump, L jump, long jump, S jump, short jump, JMP, only jump, JZ, jump if not 0, JNZ, jump if not 0, JZ is jump if 0, JNZ is jump if not 0, CJNE, jump if compare and jump if not equal, CJNE, compare and jump if not equal, DJNZ, compare and jump if not 0. Okay, the description is given there. Just for your information, I will give you the details there. A jump means absolute jump, jump to an address in a 2 kilobyte range. Okay, long jump, jump to an address in a 64 kilobyte range. S jump, short jump, jump to an address in 256 byte range, 0 to 127, that is maximum 7F. Okay, that is positive, and -1 to -128, that is FF to ATH, means how long you can jump in an how long you can change the program counter, that is decided by the type of the jump instruction. Short jump means very small range. तुम्ही तुमच्या आता करंट इन्स्ट्रक्शनच्या फार लांब जाऊ शकत नाही, त्याला म्हणायचं शॉर्ट जम्प. लॉंग जम्प इज कुठेही जाऊ शकता तुम्ही, त्याच्या पूर्ण त्याचा टोटल प्रोग्राम रेंज जी आहे, यू कॅन जम्प एनीवेअर. ऍब्सोल्यूट जम्प again, that is in between long jump and short jump. Neither it is too long nor it is too short. You can have the range within 2 kilobytes, 2 kilobytes of the address. That is the absolute jump. Okay, and then there is a only jump at the A plus DPTR. So it will take the reference of accumulator and data pointer. JZ, jump if 0. What is jump if 0? Jump to address when the accumulator is equal to 0. JNZ, jumps to address when accumulator is not 0. So after the execution of any instruction, if the accumulator is 0 or if the accumulator is not 0, in that case, you can take the help of this jump instruction. Okay, then CJNE. Now what is this? CJNE means compare and jump if not equal. Jumps to relative address when accumulator is equal to data stored at a direct address. ओके, तुम्ही कुठलाही डायरेक्ट ऍड्रेस याच्यामध्ये घेऊ शकता किंवा रिलेटिव्ह डायरेक्ट ऍड्रेस घेऊ शकता. म्हणजे तुम्ही एक कंपॅरिझन करता इथं. इफ दॅट कंपॅरिझन इज ट्रू, देन यू विल, इफ इट इज नॉट ट्रू, देन यू विल जम्प. Okay, I will give you the one example there that will give you very easy thing there. Okay, so CJNE is having different options there. CJNE मध्ये तुम्ही accumulator यूज करू शकता और तुम्ही एखादं मेमरी लोकेशन यूज करू शकता. तसंच DJNZ. DJNZ is decrement value in RN and jump to relative address. For this CJNE and DJNZ, for that, I will give you the example of the C programming. So in C program, you are using while loop. Do you remember while loop? While. Do you remember this? While x is greater than 0. Then you are performing something. For that, how to write it in the assembly language? For that, you are using DJNZ. So in loop, what you are doing inside the while loop, you are normally performing x is x minus minus. Correct? Do you remember this in the C programming, Avinash?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for this, when you want to convert this program into assembly language program, you have to change the value of x and you have to check whether the value is 0 or not. So for that you can use DJ and Z. DJ and Z, for X you can use one register, and every time you decrement the value of X and jump if X is not 0. Means until X is not becoming 0, you can repeat the process. Okay, similarly CJNE. CJNE is compare. So you have to change the value of one variable, and if it is equal to another variable, then you can, if it is not equal to another variable, you can continue, and if it is equal to that variable, you can stop there. So for that, these are some instructions present there. Okay, then another instructions are call and return. Call and return instructions we will see afterwards. Only thing is, you remember that these are used for subroutines. Okay, call and return are used for calling the subroutines. Okay, subroutines, or I can relate it to the function. Do you remember function in C programming? In the C programming, you are using the functions which are used to execute the same code again and again. Okay, for example, you are writing a function to find out the square root of the number. So that function you can call n times in your program. So you are having a very big program there, and in that program, anywhere you want to, if you want to execute the square root, you will call that function. Okay, so for that you are using the function. Similarly, if you want to implement the function in assembly programming, you are using the call and return instructions. Okay, in case of the assembly language programming, you are using the call and return instructions to execute the function. Okay, now again we will come back to the jump instruction. Okay, so I will give you some details about the jump instruction, or how the jump instruction works. Okay. Jump instruction is also used to transfer the control in the 8051 microcontroller. So in case of the 8051 microcontroller, whenever you are using whenever you are using the jump instruction, this is actually used to change the flow of the program. Okay, or to change the control of the program, you are using the jump instruction. Okay, so what is the speciality of the jump instruction? Jumps in the 8051 microcontroller are used to perform the which operation? The operation of looping. Okay, looping means repeated execution of some instructions. Okay, for a small part, if you want to repeat it, then you can use that jump instruction there. And the second one is conditional execution of the program code. Means if a particular condition is met, then only you are going to execute that program code. For that, you are using the jump instruction. Now, jumps in the 8051 are of two types. So what are the two types? First one is unconditional jump, and second is conditional jump. Okay, I repeat it. Unconditional jump, and second is conditional jump. What happens in unconditional jump? In the unconditional jump, these jumps do not evaluate condition to transfer the control to another address. These jumps do not evaluate the condition to transfer the control to another address. So if you don't want to evaluate the condition for any particular program, then you are using the unconditional jumps. Whereas conditional jumps will first evaluate a particular condition. Conditional jumps will evaluate a particular condition, and then they will transfer the control to another address in the program code. All conditional jumps are short jumps. Short jumps means within 256 bytes that will take the jump. Okay. So here unconditional jumps are specified there. What are the different unconditional jumps? First one is L jump. Okay, long jump. Here you are giving the 16-bit address. In the long jump, you are giving the 16-bit address. It transfers control within the program code and the maximum range is 64 kilobytes. Okay, now what is the size of the instruction? 3 bytes. Means it will require 3 memory locations to store this instruction. It will require 3 memory locations to store this instruction. And it takes a huge amount of time for the execution, that is 24 clock cycles. Okay, now flags are not affected by this instruction. Rather, by all these 3 instructions, flags are not affected. Second instruction is A jump, that is absolute jump. Okay, this consisting of 11 bits. Here the address was 16-bit. Here the address is 11-bit. What is the size of the instruction? It is 2 bytes. The size of the instruction is 2 bytes, and it is also used to transfer the control within the program code. The maximum range of this jump is 2 kilobytes. It is requiring 2 kilobytes. And the third one is SJMP, short jump. Okay, I repeat it. First one is L jump, long jump. Second is A jump, absolute jump. And third is S jump. S jump is short jump. And it is working on the relative address. A relative address means what? A relative address means the difference between the current address and the destination address, your new address. Okay, this is the comparison between the, suppose current address is 30 or suppose current address is 40 and new address is 50. So it will calculate the difference between the two. 50 minus 40. Okay, current address is 40 and the new address is 50. So it will be 50 minus 40. Okay, so what is the answer? The answer is 10. Okay, so that difference is nothing but your relative address. This is nothing but offset. Okay, and suppose you are taking the backward jump. Backward jump means jump to the previous address. Okay, so your current address is 50. No, sorry, current address is 40. Okay, current address is 40. Okay, and your new address is 30. So it will be 40, 30 minus 40. Your current address, here the current address was 40, new address was 50. So it was 50 minus 40. Now your current address is 40, okay, and your new address is 30. Current address is 40 and your new address is 30. So it will be 30 minus 40. That is equal to minus 10. So now what is your relative address? Your relative address is minus 10. Okay. So this is the range of the addresses you are having. Again, this instruction requires how many bytes to store? 2 bytes. How many clock cycles to execute? 24 clock cycles to execute. Okay, but it uses the given address as an offset to the executing address and transfers the control to the new address. In case of long jump, you are directly giving this address. Your new address is 50, so L jump 50. Okay, L jump 30, L jump 100, L jump FF, L jump F000. Like that you will give the address. Okay. Whereas in case of A jump, your address will be short, not greater than 2 kilobytes. Okay. In L jump, you can give any 16-bit address. In A jump, you can give any 11-bit address. Okay, only 11-bit address is given there. So that is the maximum address you can give. But in case of S jump, you are giving only 256 bytes, and that is again the relative address. Means the difference between the two addresses is given there. Okay, so I repeat there, in the unconditional jumps, you are having the three instructions. First is S jump, second is L jump, and third is A jump. Short jump, long jump, and absolute jump. Okay, you can take down these things: long jump, absolute jump, and short jump. These three are unconditional jump instructions present in case of the 8051 microcontroller. Okay, then okay, so here once again I will share with you the PPT in which I will show you again the instructions. So in case of the jump instruction, we have seen the three unconditional jump instructions. What are these three unconditional jump instructions? First one is L jump, A jump, L jump, and S jump, or short jump, absolute jump, and long jump. Three jump unconditional jumps are given there. Along with that, jump with the reference of A and DPTR is also present there. Okay, and then you are having JZ. Okay, jump if 0, then J and Z, jump if not 0, CJNE, compare and jump if not equal, and DJ and Z, compare, decrement and jump if not 0. These are the different variations of conditional jump instructions are present there. Okay, so I will just revise these things, whatever we have covered right now until now, and then we will go for actual programming. I will give you few examples there. Okay, and one example we will solve in the program, and with that program we will stop in this lecture. This is another type of the instructions present in 8051 microcontroller. This is branch instructions are actually used to transfer the control of the program. Now, how they are transferring the control of the program? For that, these instructions are changing the contents of the program counter. So, program counter contents are modified by branching instructions. Okay, so there are roughly you can divide it in three parts. Jump, call, and return instructions are there. Okay, so from jump, call, and return instructions, we are jump, call, and return. These are the three basic operations present in the branching instructions. Call and return are separate part. It is like executing the function in your program, whereas jump is a separate part which is having lots of variations and which is used frequently in case of the 8051 programming. Those are used for calculating the delays, for loop operations, for such things, or repetition of the code, you are using the branch instructions. For looping instructions, you are using the branch instructions. Okay, especially CJ and E, compare and jump if not equal, and DJ and Z. These are very interesting instructions used in the jump instruction. Again, in jump instruction, there are two variations. One is unconditional jump instruction and second is conditional jump instruction. So three unconditional jump instructions are there: A jump, L jump, and S jump. Absolute jump, long jump and short jump. What is the difference between these three instructions? The range of the address. The range of the address is very small for S jump, that is short jump. The range of the addresses is very small for S jump instruction. Then for the long jump instruction, the range of the address is very high. Okay, for the long jump instruction, the range of the address, you can have a very long, means 64 kilobyte range of the addresses for long jump. Okay, and for the other one is absolute. Absolute addresses are within the 2 kilobytes. Absolute addresses are within the 2 kilobytes range, and for that you are using the A jump code. Okay, and the last one is S jump, L jump, and A jump. These three are conditional jump, unconditional jumps, and the other one is the conditional jump instructions like JZ, JNZ, CJNE, and DJNZ, decrement and jump if not 0. Okay, so with this, I will go to the Kyle window. I will show you how it executes so that you will understand how the branch instruction takes place. Okay, or rather you are actually familiar with this thing, because every time we are doing the same thing there in your program at the beginning only. I will share with you the Kyle window, and with that, I will show you the actual execution of the jump instruction. Okay, just wait a minute. I will share with you the Kyle window. So here I have shared the Kyle window where I have created one file with the program which consisting of the branch instruction there. So here it is showing the branch.asm file. Okay, that branch.asm file is first I have included in the source group as usual. So it will show us the program there. Now this is the first statement org0x00. So it will point to the first location in the ROM memory. Then here the second instruction is sjump. Okay, now what is the sjump? It's a short jump. Okay, short jump is within 256 bytes. It is within 256 bytes, and then we are writing here some code there. We can write any code there to execute some instruction. We are using this code. Okay. Now what we will see is how the instructions are executed here. I am performing the data transfer operation there. Two data I have taken, one in A and one in B, and then we are performing A and B addition there. Okay, and here again I am writing one more thing which you were very much interested in knowing why I am writing it here, isn't it? Here, sorry. Here is jump here. So this is doing the repetitive things there. Build the program. Okay, it is assembling the program. Okay, so we have to add the end statement here. save it, rebuild the program, no errors, debug the program. Okay, so here now we are interested in the program counter. Okay, I will show you the program counter here, and this assembly window also I will show you. Okay, in the beginning you are having the disassembly window, and in the disassembly window it is showing the um, I will increase the font for the disassembly window so that you will be able to watch all the contents of the disassembly window. I am highlighting it. Once it is highlighted, you can watch everything there, how the program is stored. Okay, I will show you how the program is stored, and then yes. So it is highlighted by yellow color. It is showing the yellow color there. So it is C colon. C colon means it is stored in code memory. Okay, C means code memory or your program memory or your ROM memory, sorry. So the first address is 0x00 where you have written the instruction as sjump to main on what is the location 0030. So now it will go to the 0030. If I change it to the 0030, so I am tracing it, so it will go to the 30 address. Yes, here we have got the 30 address. So here you can see again it is highlighted there. I hope it is visible to you. C colon 0x30. Here you can see the first instruction, move a comma 0x90. Okay, move a comma 0x90. Then next instruction 30, this is taking 2 bytes. The opcode is E590. The opcode of the move a comma 0x90 is E590. Okay, next 0x00 32. So what is this? 8560F0 move B comma 0x30, and the last instruction is 0x0035. So here you can see that these are the addresses 30, 32, 35. But at the beginning when I say sjump to 30, it is actually transferring the contents. Sorry, we have to go at the beginning. Yeah, at 0x00, it is the instruction is 802E. So this instruction will transfer the contents to the program counter. Okay, so again for this, I will show you PC is currently 00. Program counter is currently 00. And now it will execute the first instruction sjump to main. So I'm executing this instruction. Carefully watch that program counter is currently 00, and when I execute sjump main, that is short jump to main level, where it is 0x30 is written. Okay, so main is written after 0x30. So now it will load 30 into the program counter. So after execution of this instruction, what we can see here is program counter contains 30. So that is highlighted by the blue color. Program counter is now modified by 30 because I have written the instruction sjump to main, and main is pointing to 30. What is main here? Main is the label. Okay, and now as I go on executing the instruction, the program counter will increment every time. Okay, here program counter has become 32, then it will become 35, then it will become 37, and here what you can see is sjump is again written there. Now this sjump is jumping to the same level. Okay, so it will again go to the 37 only. So it will not go to any other location. You can see that every time I execute it, it is executing more cycles, but the content of the program counter is remaining same. Okay, so this is jumping to the same part. So you are creating here infinite loop. Okay, you are creating here infinite loop with, you are creating infinite loop using the here sjump here. Okay, now this loop is required in the microcontroller programming. This is compulsory for microcontroller programming. Okay, I will explain you some other time why here sjump here is included here. But remember that this is creating the infinite loop in your program. So for that also sjump instruction is used. So with this, I think we have completed the introduction to the branch instructions, and we have seen the three instructions: A jump, S jump, and L jump, and how these three instructions are executed, that we have seen here. Okay, if you are having any difficulty, students, you can put the query in the chat box.